Hello everyone, welcome back to the Vercode tutorials. So in this video we are going to see the logout API, right? Because we have forgot to build the logout API, or I have forgotten to build the logout API. So we have created this registration API, we have created the login API, then we have created this product API. So what you can do before this comment, right? Before this comment API to create product in database, you can come here and write one new comment API for logout, right? If you do the API for logout, so here let's see how we can what's the logic of logging out, right? So this API will also be in the format of post. Inside the post format we can give it the endpoint and point sorry, not endpoint, you need to write here, you need to write here logout, right? You need to do logout here. Then you don't have to make this function as an asynchronous because we are not interacting with the database, right? So request and response, inside this what we are going to do, if I tell you the logic, in the logging in, when we were logging in, right, we are creating this cookie, with all the information with related to the user. We are storing all the information of the user inside this cookie, and we are sending this cookie to the front end part, right? So what we do generally, we generally store this cookie in the in the local storage of your web browsers, right? So inside the logout API, what we can do, we are just if I show you here, see, you can see this token, you can see the token, right? So if you see the token here, now it has some strings, it has some characters, it has some numbers, right? It has some special character also. So there is some character inside this string. Now what we are going to do, we are just going to empty this token. We are going to exchange this string with the empty string. So what it will do, it will delete the previous string and it will change to the empty string, right? So if we don't have any token, it means user is not authenticated, and that means user is now log out, right? So what we can do, it's simply response.cookie, and you have a token with the name of token, right? We are just going to replace it with the empty string, and then res.cookie, and then you can just do dot json, and inside here you can pass one message that user logged out, uh, log logged out, log out successfully. Okay, so we can just pass the JSON object that user logout successfully. Now, if you go on the new request again, if you go on the Thunder client and you need to go on the new request, when you go on the new request, you can change this get to post again, change the URL, and you can just change the endpoint here to log out. This will be the logout, right? We don't have to post anything. You can just click on the send button and it will say user has been logged out successfully. Now if you go inside the cookies section, you can see this token is empty, right? So what we are doing in the logout process, we are just replacing our previous token with the empty string. So if there is no token present, that means user is not authenticated. So that's how this will be the logic for the logout process, right? Okay, so now if we are done with the logout process, now what I want you to do is we can just add some more product inside our database, so it will be more easier for us to, for you to learn how these things work, right? So what you can do, you can just go on the Flipkart again, you can go on the Flipkart, and you can select this watch, you can select this watch, you can again go and select the watch, you can copy this title from here. Now you need to call this API for storing the product. We have the endpoint of products, right? So if you go here, we have this endpoint, right? So we have already done everything. You just need to change the values. So you can change the value from here. Again, go to the Flipkart section, under the description. If it has a description, no. Okay, it doesn't have any description. So what you can do, you can just copy these things. You can copy these things from here, go inside the description, and change this description to this one, right? Okay, so why this giving an error? Because everything is in the different lines, right? So you need to uh, okay, you don't have to paste everything, only these things will work. Okay, so we are done with the description. Now what you need to do, you need to write one image. So for image, they have uploaded some image here, we can use these images. So copy image address, copy image address, no. Okay. Oh, oh. And we cannot copy images from here also. Okay, we can copy the image address from here, and you can go inside your VS Code again. Inside the image address, you can just replace this image from new one, right? And category will be smart watches, and quantity will be 12, price will be 1200. So done, and just click on the send button. Now this is new document is created, right? We can do for one more. Okay, so you can again go to the Flipkart section. In the Flipkart section, you can again go to this earphone, and you can choose these Apple earphone. Copy the title again, copy this title, paste it here, right? Paste it here, and then you can copy this much description, paste it here, and then you can go for category will be earphones, right? Earphones will be the category, and you need one image also. So copy image address, and here you can paste it, right? You can paste it, and quantity will be 50, and price will be 30,000 will be fine. Okay, just send this. Okay, this is also created. Now if you go in the MongoDB, if you go in the MongoDB, you will see, if you go inside the product section and you refresh this collection again, you will see three documents here, I guess. Yes, you can see these three documents, right? So it will be more easier to find and to create an API for these three, right? Now come inside the index.js again. Now we are going to create an API to get all the data which are present inside my database, right? So get all data from database. After doing this, you can write app dot for getting the data, for getting any information from the database. Whatever what I said to you, that we need to use the get method, right? Inside the get method, this will be our endpoint. Here you need to write a sync, because again we are interacting with the database. Request response. After this, you can write rest.json, and await product schema. Again you need to call the product schema collection, right? Dot find. You can use the find method without any parameter. Just save the file, go in the new request again. Now this is correct. Now the get method is correct, you don't have to change anything. HTTP localhost 4001, right? You can change the endpoint. We don't have any endpoint for this API, we only have 4001. So click on the send button, you will see every data which is present inside my database is coming here, right? So this is all the data which we have inside our database. Okay, so we have created an API to get every data from the database. Now we are going to create an API to get a single product, get single product from database, right? So that's how we can create a API to get a single product. Now again we are going to get something from the database, right? So you are going to use app.get. Inside the app.get, you can write this endpoint single product, and this function will be a sync again, and it will be request response. Okay, now inside here what you need to do is, okay, so what we can do here, see inside the MongoDB database, if you can see that MongoDB always do indexing of every document, right? It means, what indexing means is MongoDB always provide a unique ID to every document. So what we can do, why don't we just send this unique ID inside the URL, and MongoDB will return us the same document? We can do this, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to fetch the id, in place of this single product. I'm going to pass the id of the product, right? I'm going to pass the id of the product. Now, how can you fetch any id? For example, let's go on this Verecode website again, right? So this will be the endpoint, right? In this url, what I'm going to do, inside this url, as you can see this unique id, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm copying this unique id and I'm going to pass this unique id here. So what this we are going to do, we are going to get this unique id from the url, and then we are going to pass this id inside the MongoDB to get the product, right? So to get the product, we need to do these things, right? So how to fetch the endpoint of any url? You need to go for request.params. As you see earlier, we are doing request.body before, right? To get all these data in the JSON format. If you want any endpoint of the url, you need to do request.params, right? So you can start writing const id equal to request.params. If you do this, you can fetch the endpoint of any url. And as I said, that we are sending the unique id of the product inside the url endpoint, right? So catch error will be the same. You can copy the previous one and paste it here, right? Now inside the try catch, if we have the correct id inside the url, okay, first of all we can write if not id, then if we are unable to fetch the id, return res.status 401.json message id not found, right? And now if id is or present, then what we can do, we can create a new variable const product, right? Const product equal to, you can do await product schema dot find by id, and inside this find by id you are going to pass the id. Now you can do res.status 200.json, and inside this json you are going to pass the product. Okay, done. So this will be the API to fetch a single product from the database, right? So again, you can go in the new request option, and get is the correct method. We have a API with the get method only. You can write http localhost 4001. What we have this endpoint, we have this endpoint with the ID, right? So if you again go to your MongoDB database, you can see this unique ID of our Apple AirPod Pro, right? So you can just pass this unique ID here and click on the send button. So you will see this is fetching the same product with the help of this ID, right? So we are fetching the product with the help of ID. And if you want to fetch any product, any document from the MongoDB with the help of ID, you are going to use this function, which is find by id from the MongoDB. And inside the find by id you are going to pass the id of the object or the document, right? So it will fetch the document. So as you can see here, here you can see that we have fetch, you can see the id also, these two are same, right? So that's how we can fetch a single product. So I guess that's it for this video, and thank you very much. Now we will see other operation in the next video. Okay, take care.